Sarah, a lot of the things that your character specifically does are very cruel, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, Steve. A lot of Steve's movies, Cameron says this a lot, that are about the body and the ways we feel things in the body. Does that affect you in any way when you're playing a character who's cruel? How do you get there?
Well, of course it affects me, but I had a very specific job to do within the confines of the story that was had little to do with me, actually, and had everything to do with the story of Solomon and Patsy. And the only way I was able to kind of put myself in that headspace was to find the reason why, and not as a justification for deplorable behavior, but as a way into it for myself as an actor. To me, Mistress Epps is a woman just drowning in her own fear of losing her husband, her standing within her own property, and the public sort of nature of this, being usurped by Patsy in the heart of the person that belongs to her. So it's kind of, that was the only way I could really go there. But also it was my job, and I wanted to commit to it whole hog, and to not take my foot off the gas. And there was a relentless quality to her fury, and I just thought it's best to commit to that rather than to pull back.
Mm-hmm. I mean, these are artists, they're actors. I mean, this is drama. I mean, without people playing people who are appalling, there'll be no drama. I mean, it's their job. That's what they do. They're athletes. I mean, it doesn't mean that it'd be difficult if they couldn't do it. If they couldn't do it, I'll get someone else. They're actors, so we should, come on.
Right, I understand that, but we're also, it's tricky. It's necessary to show torture. And we're watching a movie, so it's this very tricky juxtaposition of entertainment, education, and watching people in pain and causing pain. I just think it's a tricky thing to calibrate.
It's not really.
It's
because
not.
The history writes it the way it is, so we're just there to facilitate it. It's not tricky at all.
Huh.
It's like, what's tricky is when I think people try and sort of, I don't know, sugarcoat it or start messing with it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's there.
Yeah.
So like the reality is there, so you just follow it.
It's a responsibility to tell the truth.
Yeah.
But it makes it easier because
Right.
it's real. So it happened.
And
so
from the response we're getting in Toronto, people want it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. Everyone's an adult here. They know how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to deal with it. So it's not about sort of sugarcoating it or anything else. The artists, actors, we're here to do something which we feel is necessary for the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's the sort of story that I think just requires 100% commitment from everybody involved, and the only way to do that, I wouldn't be able to do the work that my job in the film if other people weren't doing theirs. You know what I mean? So we have to support each other in that way. We have to work together, and I think if you're it's not like I think Steve's saying, it's and Michael, it's a historical narrative. It's a first person primary source. It's a gift from the past, to open a discussion not about race particularly, but about human dignity, and our freedoms, and what we most require in the world, and the only way to really open that discussion is to see all sides of it. That's the only way we can make the film, a film that we would be proud of.
And if it's storytelling, no matter what the story is, if you don't tell it truthfully, then you're disrespecting the audience, the person you're telling it to, and you're disrespecting the process.